like be before. So I have spent so many years saying that I don't.
The caption says single mother by choice.
I have spent so many years saying that I don't want kids. Like I'll never have kids. I'll never have kids. I'll never have kids. And it's so crazy because like I literally like I got into it with my auntie before because I'm the only child and I'm also the oldest grandchild. So like all my aunties and uncles and my mom and my dad and all that stuff, like they're waiting on me. Like nobody like in that generation has any grandkids. They're waiting on me because I'm the oldest. And I spent so many years saying like, fuck no, I'm never having kids. I don't want to have kids. But recently, I did find myself thinking about having a kid, specifically a daughter. Now, when I talk about having kids, because I'm gonna say it a lot in this video, when I talk about I want to have a kid, I'm talking about having a daughter every single time. Every single time. I don't know what it is. I don't want a son. I don't know. Sorry. But my thing is the most unconventional thing about me.
She don't want a son. She don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. You don't want a man. You don't want a son either. There's no man in this equation. And your caption says single mother by choice. Ma'am, you know, you don't want to accept why you don't want a son. But it's probably the same reason you don't want a man. You really probably just don't like men. Who what goofball walks around talking about they want to be a single mother by choice? So the reason you don't want a son is because you don't want a man. But it sounds like you also don't want to be lonely at the same time. So you want some type of companion and family, so you just don't feel empty by yourself. But that's not what kids are for. So I would. She's gonna have to give me something better than that. Because well, she hasn't given us anything as far as why she's deciding to do this or even contemplating it. So let's go ahead and let's get a little bit more information. But I need to know why you even want to have kids. Why can't you just stay by yourself then? If you don't want to raise kids the way that they really should be raised. Before we get back into it though, y'all, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's only a click. And if you're here anyway, you might as well just click that like button. And then also if you could hype as well.
Lee, I did find myself thinking about having a kid, specifically a daughter. Now, when I talk about having kids, because I'm gonna say it a lot in this video, when I talk about I want to have a kid, I'm talking about having a daughter every single time. Every single time. I don't know what it is. I don't want a son. I don't know. Sorry. But my thing is the most unconventional thing about me is that whenever I picture myself as a mom, I always picture myself as a single mom. Look, and I feel kind of weirded out about saying that out loud because it's like I'm already black, and you know, there's this negative stereotype around black women, like, oh, single baby mama and all of this stuff. But it's like, it's also not baby mama. Like, I always have pictured myself doing the in vitro route, you know, the implantation route, sperm bank route.
Why?
I
Why?
never have ever pictured, like,
Why do you want kids? Why? Why do you want a kid? And you don't want to raise them right. What's the reason? She's lonely. She's lonely and she probably doesn't like animals. That's not what they're for. Are we thinking about the future of the child? Or are we having kids for our own reasons? And then you know what's crazy? A lot of times it's not even about wanting to raise a productive citizen. It's really just about it's not even about raising them as a kid. A lot of times the only image in their mind is the baby phase and the cute phase. It's possible she done hung around some friends and she's auntie and she done been around some babies and she might just want a baby. Just want it. But are we thinking about longevity? Are we thinking about the future? This whole sentient being that you're going to be raising with a brain and a soul? I don't know because even the way that she's explaining this, doesn't it just seem so airheaded and so surface level? She hasn't said anything deep. Maybe she will, but I'm not hearing a strong enough reason it really seems trivial, even in you saying no, but I want it to be a girl. I don't want a boy. It's ick. Ugh. What are we saying?
Not baby mama. Like I always have
See,
pictures type
look,
around black
and leave. Look at how she even saying it. Yeah, I'm not giving baby mama, but I want to do it this way. Like it just the things that she's even concerned about, worrying about. Like, what are you going to put into a child? What are you going to put into a child?
women like, oh, see, look, and I feel kind of weirded out about saying that out loud because it's like I'm already black, and there's this negative stereotype around black women like, oh, single baby mama and all of this stuff, but it's like it's also not baby mama. Like I always have pictured myself doing the in vitro route, the implantation route, sperm bank route. I never have ever pictured like being a family unit. And it's so crazy too because it's like I really want to get married. But like my daughter is my daughter. Like obviously I would want to be married to a man who wants to be a father and will be a great father and a great husband and a great provider and all of these other things. But like I never am able to picture my daughter having a relationship with her dad. Like I guess because I ain't have one with mine. Ooh, the projection is heavy and loud in here. So maybe that's the problem. But it's
Wow. The more she talks, the worse it gets. The more she talks, the worse it gets. I'm really at a loss for words. She doesn't have any business having any kids. No business whatsoever. I don't know how she's made it this far because her mindset is cooked. Throw her whole mindset in the trash because it's not rooted in nothing. But whatever she done concocted, it sounds chaotic, don't it? Even the way she's trying to put this together. So let me get this straight. She said she still wants to be married, but she basically saying, but I want it to be my kid though. Ultimately, I want to have the leverage, but I still want a stepfather. But I want it to still be us against you. And I want to still be able to say, that's my child. She'll probably be so kooky. She'll probably decide to go get in vitro with her. She's not even thinking about her husband. That's how I know she's not thinking about the child. She's not even thinking about what a man cares about. So how could I ever think that she's thinking about what's in the best interest of a child? That's not even in the best interest of a man, but you still want a man, but you want to get pregnant first. So you intentionally want to have a baby first, then get the man. Has some technical difficulties, but she's completely out of order. Even the way she's thinking is out of order. She wants to have the baby first, then start a family and get the man, and then get married. Listen, I don't understand where we're getting these things from. At this point, we just want to do everything bass backwards at this point. But then we don't want to live with the consequences and be responsible for the decisions. And ultimately, you're going to be responsible for the child that you traumatize.
a great father and a great husband and a great provider and all of these other things. But like I never
Yeah, a great father, a great husband, a great provider. Let's go back to that.
my daughter. Like obviously I would want to be married to a man who wants to be a father and will be a great father and a great husband and a great provider and all of these other things. But like I never am able to picture my daughter having a relationship with her dad. Like I guess because I ain't have one with mine. Ooh, the projection is heavy and loud in here. So maybe that's the problem. But it's like it's also like I'm very indifferent to whether or not I like my daughter has a dad. I don't know. And that comes out very selfish sounding. I mean, y'all just not in my mind. Y'all not seeing the way it's working in my mind. Like if I was to, let's say I'm approaching 40 years old, right? I'm still not married. There's no prospects. I'm not dating anybody. Like, there's literally no options for me to get married, right? I would just do surrogacy and I wouldn't feel no type of way about it. Like, I'm not pressed to be with a man in order to have a kid. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not finna just shack up or get married to somebody just because I want to be a mom.
Here's what I need her to explain. I need her to explain why she wants to have a kid though. I need you to explain that. Why do you want to have a kid? That's going to be what's going to be most telling about this. What is the reason? What makes you feel like you're qualified to just pour into a child alone? What research are you doing where it shows that this is the most effective way? Because we have tons of data that shows the way that you're trying to do it is the least effective and is going to produce the worst result for society and ultimately for the child that you raise. So I don't understand. That's why I need her to give me something. I need her to give me something. It can't just be you just came up with it and you're just unconventional. That's not good enough.
Be with a man in order to have a kid. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not finna just shack up or get married to somebody just because I want to be a mom. Because I want to be a mom way more than I want to be a wife. Like, I'm sorry. Because love isn't forever, and it's like I don't want to attach myself to some random ass person just to end up not being with them no more. But I still got to deal with you because we have a child in common. Like, oh my god, that actually makes my asshole itch. Like, I do not want that for myself ever. And I just think it's so crazy because it's like I have nobody to talk about this with. Like, every time I bring this up, like, people be looking at me like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? But no, y'all are just not seeing the vision. Like, y'all are just not getting it. Now, obviously, this is not me saying like,
What's the vision? What are you crafting here that we need to see? What's your vision? And what is it rooted in? And where have you seen it work? In most cases, we have tons of data that shows this way that you're trying to do it is not the way, especially if you can help it. So, why you would choose that, I need you to tell us what's your vision and what's your reason.
if I was to get that picture perfect family, great amazing father for my kid, my daughter, have me, one and done, because I'm a one and done. It never gave more than one child over here. It barely gave one. I literally just decided that I wanted to have kids this year, and it's March. Okay? But yeah, like, if I was to have that picture perfect family, that would be all good and great and stuff, but I'm also very indifferent to that. Are y'all understanding where I'm coming from? Like,
Everything is fickle. Everything is fickle. Even her philosophy of the family. She only wants a family because she's thinking about picture perfect. I wouldn't be surprised now that she done mentioned that. Oh yeah, if I had the picture perfect family, then cool. I wouldn't be surprised if she just wants this child as an accessory. I wouldn't be surprised if she just wants a child as an accessory. You see some pretty much women, they're the only ones who do this, but you see some women who will have dogs as accessories. They'll literally have dogs just for the look of it. Is that what she's doing with a child? Because it seems like that's even where she thinks the point of a man is. A picture perfect family is what she just said, what she just stated. You just care about the picture perfect. You just care about the perception from the outside world. Do you care about all the intimate things that you actually get and receive from that? Or are you just worried about how everyone else is going to perceive it?
if I was to have that picture perfect family, that would be all good and great and stuff, but I'm also very indifferent to that. Are y'all understanding where I'm coming from? Like, I don't really give a fuck if I get married or not, or if I have a man or not. Like, I will go down there and buy a baby.
Going
And
by a
get pregnant
baby.
and all. Have that bitch by my motherfucking self. But yeah, that's my little unconventional.
Didn't I tell you she was looking at it as an accessory? Even the way she talks about it, I don't care. I'll go down there and buy a baby. Not a whole human being. Because didn't I tell you she's only focused on the baby aspect? She's only focused on the baby aspect. Soon as that baby grows up and starts having an attitude and going through the terrible teens, all of us, she's not going to love that baby no more, probably. That baby, that human being who has a brain, who has feelings, who has emotions. I'll just go buy a baby. Just pick one off the shelf. This isn't Build a Bear, man. These are real decisions. We already see so many people making such permanent decisions impulsively. But this takes the cake because you're showing a certain level of intention that you've thought this through and you still haven't walked yourself off that ledge. You're still all in. It's because you're just looking grass is greener. You're not happy with your life right now the way it is, with your situation. You keep trying to look externally for solutions in order to solve whatever feels inadequate within yourself. You're looking on the outside trying to come up with all these things that you think is going to be the thing that finally brings you happiness and fulfillment. And what you're going to find is none of it will. You're still going to be just as miserable because you haven't gone inside. You haven't done the internal work. And it's so clear in the way that she talks. She hasn't said one thing with depth about this situation at all. She hasn't said one deep thing this whole time. Everything she said just sounds honestly airheaded. It doesn't even feel like we're talking to a whole adult right here, which she's not alone in that. It's a lot of people to where they lack depth, they lack reflection, they never get introspective and really learn more about themselves. They're just out in the world, caring about everyone else. Let's finish this. This is insane. I want to read the comments too. We have to read. It's not much comments, but we're going to read them.
And get pregnant and all. Had that bitch by my motherfucking self. But yeah, that's my little unconventional pregnancy take. And I think this is also why I have so much less sympathy when girls be just like going after their baby daddy. Like, why do you want him in the life so bad? Like, obviously he don't give a fuck about nobody but himself. Why do you want him around you so bad? Fuck him, bitch. Like, what? You got a baby. Like, that is awesome. That is amazing. Live your best life. Like, be a mom.
Live your best life.
Fuck him. But yeah.
Bat-ish
Can't wait to
crazy.
be a mommy to a daughter. Husband pending. Nobody but himself. Why do you?
She said, "Why are you chasing after this man? Why do you want him in your child's life?" Because they're actually thinking of the child, ma'am. It's not just about them, which is why I'm questioning your reason and your rationale for wanting to be a parent. Because being a parent is a selfless thing. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a selfish thing. This seems selfish. You seem selfish. You are selfish. Because you're not thinking about what that child needs. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And the way things are supposed to be done.
So I have spent so many.
The way things are supposed to be done is typically, if we can help it, we try to give a child an upbringing. Are you thinking about what that child's going to feel when it has to go and see other kids with a father and a mother, with two parents? Or are you only thinking about how you feel about the situation, which you already know that the way that you feel, whenever you tell people, they look at you like you're crazy because you are crazy. This child's going to have feelings. This child's going to feel like it's missing something. And then how you think your child's going to feel about you when they see this clip and they see that you intentionally didn't give them what other kids have and ultimately what your child deserves, and you did it on purpose. You think a daughter doesn't want to feel like a princess? So when she starts seeing other young ladies and they're getting treated like a princess by their dad and they feel safe and secure, and you rob your daughter of that, Are you thinking about how she's actually going to feel? Actually feel. And you don't get to tell your daughter how they feel, just like we don't get to tell you how you feel, even though you're doing all the wrong things. You don't care. It doesn't matter. You're just going to do what you want to do. But that has implications. Let's look at these comments. Look at this already. Already. So we have a comment from a woman. I can't believe it's people that agree with this. We have a comment from a woman. It says, I agree with this. I've always dreamed of me doing it by myself and only having a daughter. So it's other people who are having these thoughts. So now we have to wonder, is that why people feel so intentional? Oh, excuse me. Is that why people feel so gung ho about having all these kids by all these different fathers and then not staying with their family? Are y'all, do y'all actually feel like this on the inside? Like this is what you want? What about what the kid wants? The next comment says, me too. The next comment says, agreed. And I don't want anyone to have any say over my child. Selfish, but I don't care. Over my child, selfish, but I don't care. So you know it's selfish. She knows it's selfish. But they don't care. Why do you want to have kids if you don't care? You you're being selfish towards your own kid. And you don't care. But you want kids. That's why I said, why do y'all want kids? I think it's getting to the point some of these people don't even see these kids as human beings. We see it all the time when we review government assistance. When we review government assistance, these kids are meal tickets. A lot of times, these kids are basically avenues for people to not have to work and get to be lazy and get to stay at home. And that's a problem. And the fact that people could feel so comfortable to come on here and show their lack for the children is very telling. Look at this next comment. OMG, another woman, someone that has the same thoughts as me. Y'all are goofy. Another comment. I get you, OMG. Another comment. As a single mom, I agree it's the best way. Another woman. She thinks that this is the best way to have children in this context. She thinks this is the best way. The best way. That's not what the statistics show. That's not what the statistics show. That it's the best way. It's the best way. She was mentioning that during her little spiel, I think she even mentioned the fact that I know this unconventional. I know it sounds crazy. It's probably because I ain't have a daddy. You crazy because you didn't have a daddy. So you acknowledge that. And yet you're going to continue to cycle intentionally. Unchecked for too long. And that's what it really comes down to. That's why she doesn't want a man. Because then there's going to be some checks and balances. And there's going to be something to hold her to. She wants to stay flowy in her imagination and just make up whatever crap she wants to make and throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. And see what a man will bring order to the situation. And a man would be thinking further along, further than what she's thinking, because she's not thinking very far. She's not thinking at all. But I think we've already beat that horse to death. So we'll leave it there. Y'all, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. and hype was designed for smart channels, so that's why. But if you run across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days, and hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video if you want to hype. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons right there on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family would come with is you would get badges next to your comments. So people would be able to see that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and exclusive content that is not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons right there. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video.